Welcome back to the podcast, folks. This week we have another live stream with the clan over on Patreon. But before we crack on there, quick shout out to our sponsors. This week they are the Influencer Store. The Influencer Store helps you build your brand, big or small, providing you with a solution and apparel. We help you to increase your fan base while supporting you with starting your own influencer clothing line with nothing more than just an idea or design, and there are no hidden costs. For more info, come check us out at theinfluencerstore.co.uk or drop us an email at online@influencerstore.co.uk for more information. Now, these are the folks I use, Roger and his Mrs. Charlotte. I use the Influencer Store for all the TeapotOne merch, so head on to TeapotOne.com and check out the shop to get some Teapot merch. Next we have Ultimate Add-ons, our old faithful. Ultimate Add-ons are the premium manufacturer of mobile phone and action camera mounting solutions for motorcycles. With a kit for any bike and a proven track record of, you know the score folks, I read this out every single week. I use the Ultimate Add-on phone mounts when I'm doing all the reviews for the bikes. I use it because I can use my phone for the navigation with Kalimoto. The phone's nice and handy there. I can power it off of an external sort of USB source. The phone's kept nice and safe. There's a whole different range of mounts that you can use to attach the case to any bike. I use the Helix strap mount and I found that is fantastic. It allows me to pretty much mount it to any bike out there. There's always somewhere I can mount the case to it. Plus, because there's that extra bit of give, I've never had any problems at all with the camera on my phone. I know a lot of people, when they use phone mounts on bikes, various different manufacturers, people have experienced issues with the cameras. I've never had, touch wood, a single problem. And I put that down to me using the Helix strap mount. If you head to ultimateaddons.com and use the code TeapotOne10, so that's TeapotOne with the number 10, TeapotOne10, you'll get 10% off. And lastly, Innov. Now, Innov are a sponsor of the main TeapotOne channel too. They specialise in dash cam or camera systems for multitude of different vehicles, but also bikes. I've had the C5 system, which is a single camera system. They also do a helmet mounted version of that. And they now have the K series, the K2 and the K3, which are 1080 resolution, front and rear camera systems. The K3 has an external remote, it's got an external mic. They have Wi-Fi built in, so you can use them with the app, transfer files, share on social media, view your files, change the settings. And they also have the flagship K5, which is a 4K front camera and a slightly upgraded 1080 rear camera. It really does give you peace of mind, folks, just to know that the system is effectively CCTV. It's running on your bike 24/7. Even when you switch the bike off and you're away from the bike, the system has an inbuilt sort of motion detector in it, so that if there's any movement in front of the cameras or any movement of your bike itself, the system automatically kicks in and it starts recording anything front and rear of your bike. Really handy to have. In the event of an unfortunate accident, the first thing your insurance company is going to ask is there CCTV? And if you've got one of these installed, then you can turn around and say yes. So head to innov.co.uk, that's INNOVV.co.uk/TP1 for more info. All right, folks, if you want to get involved with the podcast, if you'd like to sponsor an episode, drop me a line, info@TeapotOne.com, and we'll take it from there. All right, folks, let's crack on with this week's episode. It's another live stream with the clan over on Patreon. I hope you enjoy it. We're live. Hey! I'll not get going till I know that you can hear me. Brian Tucker, you're good. Awesome. Beautiful. Right, folks, as you can see, I have a microphone here, but that's obviously not connected up to what you're hearing. You're hearing my monitor sort of mic. I couldn't get this thing wired up. I don't know, it just wasn't working. So I need to record it for the podcast, so I'm using the good mic for that. So I hope you can hear me all good. How's everyone doing then? Everyone got some beer? Everyone got beer? Right, let's crack on. I have had a heck of a day today. I've been doing man stuff. I don't suppose you can say that anymore. I've been doing stuff in the garden. Shattered. Slange, everybody. Here's to your health. Oh, I needed that. Right then, what are we going to chat about? Oh, folks, if you're listening at home, this is a clan-only live stream again over with the Patreon lot. So you lot will be listening to this on the podcast as usual. And if you're watching this, you're watching it after the event, but it was live. Barry Lascelles. Evening, Bruce. How you doing, Barry? How's everything going? Who else we got here? Tony Hannum. How you doing, Tony? JH, cheers. Alex Warren. That's Bud, not beer. Yeah, I know. I haven't got any Brewdog left, unfortunately, Alex. So, yeah, we're on the dregs of what we can dig out of the beer fridge in the garage. This is actually about a year past its sell-by date, but, you know, Scottish. So, what's everyone up to? When is the KTM going to be delivered? That's a hell of a bike. That is one hell of a bike. I've still to do the follow-up sort of full review of it, still to edit that. I've got a sponsor vid for Kalimoto coming out. I'll probably put that out in the next couple of weeks. Then I've got the Goldwing to do, and then I will have the full review of the KTM coming up. It's a fantastic bike. There's no denying it, you know, between that and the GS. The best bike to ride is the KTM. It's one of the best bikes I think I've ever ridden, actually, for the road. It's phenomenal. Super Duke R still wins, but the Super Adventure isn't far behind. What have we got? Johnny Hackinson, no beer, just tea. That's all right, Johnny, no worries. Barry Lascelles, good up here. Looking forward to some good weather again to get out on the bike. Tell me about it. It's been lovely here today, but yesterday was torrential. Johnny Hackinson, milk first. Yeah, always. Have you tried it, Johnny? Have you tried it? Are you a convert? Yeah, with the KTM, like I was saying, I mean, it's you can't deny it. It's the best bike. It's the best riding bike out there. It's the best, you know, smiles in the miles. It's a phenomenal machine. But, and here's my but, and I'm sure some of you won't be surprised to hear it, reliability issues. I had ongoing electrical issues during the 2 weeks that I had it. Nothing that stopped me riding it. I'll put my hand up to that. I could still ride the bike, but there was just an ongoing issue which they're not quite sure about. And it's things like that. You know, if it was my bike, it would be down to me to contact a dealership and get that fixed. And I'm not convinced that the service I would get from certainly close to me, any sort of KTM place, would be on par with what I get from BMW. So for me, I would still go BMW purely because of the dealer network and the support. But the best bike is a KTM. Mike Phillipson, evening all. How you doing, Mike? Is there a vid coming from your wheelie day? Yes, mate, there is. I have to edit that as well. I'm trying to get the bike review vids out because they get more views. By far, they get more views. Like that Hayabusa vid had over 120,000 views, literally in like the first week. KTM, not so much. I think it's 20-odd thousand. And the Harley, I think that's had like 8,000. But that is still a lot more views than I would normally get on, you know, like a vloggy type vid that I do or one of my trip tours. So I'm trying to give the channel a bit of a spike, a bit of a push to sort of get it kick-started again after splitting the podcast channel away from the main channel. But the wheelie vid is coming. It is coming. It's a good day, actually. Next Level Wheelie School I went with over in Cotswolds. They are at Cotswolds Airport. It's a good laugh. I did it with Martin Yoxel. Do you remember the chap with one leg who came on the podcast? Well, Martin convinced me to do a wheelie day with him, and I got out wheelied by Martin with one leg. Quite spectacularly so. Yeah. So how's everyone else? How's everyone doing? What you all been up to? What news you got? Trying to think with me. What can I tell you? The clan meetup that we've been organising. We can't go into the details on here, obviously, because this is going to be public. Although not live, it will go public. So obviously we want to keep the clan meetup to just everybody that's in the clan. But June's looking good, and the sort of places which we spoke about in the post. I'll do another post soon to confirm it, but it'll be happening very soon, into June. Beans, evening clan, how you doing, Beans? How are you, man? Barry Lascelles, work. That's good, man. It's good. Sadly, I know quite a lot of people have been laid off. I know a lot of folk have had to either lower their amount on Patreon or they've had to come off it altogether. I totally understand. Absolutely, folks, look after yourselves and your families. Don't worry about me. Just sort yourselves out. If you need to come out, if you need to reduce your amount, then do it. It has to be done. But if you still got your job, good on you. It's quite nice to be back to normal now, isn't it? If you've been furloughed and you're back working, it's nice. Brian Tucker, do they put training wheels on the bikes for wheelies? What they do is they've got these like rods that come out the back of the swing arm. So if the bike goes up to sort of a certain amount, it starts cutting off. I think it starts cutting off the is it cylinders? It starts cutting the power basically, and then the bike will just fall down again. But they can as you develop your skills, they can sort of lessen the amount, the rake, if you like, that these rods fall down. So they could have it totally horizontal, so you can get the bike up much farther. It's a good little setup they've got up there, Ryan and Paul. They do a cracking little thing, cracking setup. Johnny Atkinson, building my man cave, bike related, 3 bikes, sofa, TV, bar and tools. Oh man, that sounds awesome. That sounds awesome. My garage, it's a huge garage, purpose built, but it's now already, it's full of junk. Sad to say, it is full of junk. So I need to pull my finger out and sort of strip it out again and get going. I'd love to put a sofa in there, but by the time we put my wife's got a VW camper, and that was sort of the deal, that if I got to have a big garage, then it had to have enough room to put her old VW camper in, so it doesn't rust outside. So and once that's in, it sort of cuts the space quite dramatically, but I still can't complain. It's good space. 24 Charlie Simo, how you doing, pal? What are you saying? Evening, Bruce. Who funds the bike TV program? It's a couple of sponsors. I think the principal sponsor is Dunlop. Then we have kit sponsors with Shui, Spiddy, Siddy. Is there another kit sponsor? Can't remember. And then I think the producer Tom has, he handles all that. I turn up when they tell me to turn up, and we film. We haven't started filming it yet. There was some delays, so we haven't started filming. So I think we're still on for August at the moment, but it might get pushed back to September. Tony Hannum, all good. Hoping be good to Wales next weekend for a bit of camping with a bike. Looks like it's going to be a wet one. I genuinely didn't realise that like Scotland and Wales were open to everybody. I thought they were like behind us. So I was been sat here waiting for them to open up, and then seeing everybody's up there already touring. So I'm going to have to get up there as soon as I can. We actually have a rescue dog coming end of this month. So I had something planned for the end of the month, and then realised that we were getting the dog, and I can't. It's not fair for us to take the dog and then me bugger off for like 4 days and leave my wife with this brand new dog. So I'll have to alter that slightly. But the meet-up in June is all good. Where are you going, Tony? Whereabouts are you going in Wales then, when you're camping? Mike Phillipson, been up to Dorothy's speed shop with Nathan, and he's really keen to get you to ride the postie bikes. They're small and hilarious. You up for it? Absolutely. Definitely. I'll drop Nathan a line, because we spoke about that before when he was on the podcast. I'd love to do that. I think it would make good content as well for one of the vids. How did you find it, Mike? Did you enjoy it? Pete English, evening guys. How you doing, Pete? Stephen Spencer, evening all. How you doing, Stephen? Barry Lascelles, never got furloughed last lockdown, worked right through. Just me and the manager selling as many cars as possible. Well, that's good, man. That's good. I'm not going to probe into your business, but the sort of car and motorbike dealerships that I know have all said that the sales have been phenomenal over COVID. Some of the places that I know said they've never had as good sales as they've had over the last year or so. It's nuts. Christopher Murphy, looking for my second bike after passing my test just over a year ago, coming off an NC 750X, and I'm not a sports bike fan. Any recommendations would be helpful, especially now dealers are opening up. Christopher, what sort of riding do you do, mate? Is it all road, predominantly road? Do you like to do some track stuff? Do you like to do touring? Do you go out in the rain, or are you just going out in a fair weather? Do you go to the calf and back, or do you like to tour like around the UK or into Europe? Let us know. Let us know what sort of riding you're doing, and we can start chucking some ideas at you. Johnny Hackinson, Tracer 900. Tracer 900 is a good bike. Really is a good bike. Pete English, I've had a rare weekend off the bike. Was supposed to be heading to Scotland, but with the weather due to be shite, we called it off. Plenty more opportunities, I'm sure. One of my mates has been up in Scotland, actually. Neil, he's gone all the way from Wales all up to Scotland and round Skye and all these sorts of places. So yeah, I think he said it's hailed on them and they've had some rain, but he's loving it. He is loving it. Steve Sherlock, hi chaps, joined at last. I hate IT. Tell me about it, Steve. Well, seems to be working okay at my end this time. Last time was a nightmare, but yeah, this time I'm glad you could join us. Mark Keenan, still owe you a coffee when you're up to Squires. Thank you very much, Mark. Yeah, when I can get up there, I'll be up, and I'm Scottish, so I'll hold you to that. Beans, I really need to get on a bike and ride. Work gets in the way. Yeah, Beans, you've got about 83 bikes, don't you? How many have you got in the stable these days? Biker España. Hi, everyone. Late to the party. How you doing, dude? I'm loving your Instagram, your stories every day, out walking and walking your dog and cycling and stuff. Good on you. Steve Sherlock, just been up and done the NC 500. God's country, only saw 5 other bikes other than our own. Fantastic. Wow, Steve, you were lucky there, pal. I think now seems to be the time to go, because I don't know why, but maybe it's the weather. That's what's holding people off. But before, every man and his dog was saying they were going up, but so far they've not had the hordes up there that they were expecting. Steve Sherlock, Pete, weather was ace in Scotland. Go up there if you've got waterproofs. Chris Murphy, all weather, all day rides and touring. Never been on a track or off road. Right. In that case, Chris, sheesh. So you've come from an NC 750X. Okay, so with the greatest goodwill in the world, they're a capable bike, but they've not got loads of power, have they? So I take it you're wanting a step up in power, step up in handling. Do you like that sort of upright style, the sort of tourer style that the NC 750 gives you? Or are you looking for a sportier bike, or do you want to move to an adventure style bike? Let us know. Tony Hannum, tour area is Tenby and the South Pembrokeshire coast. Arrive Friday, tour return Sunday. Oh, Pembrokeshire's beautiful. We've got some friends out Pembrokeshire. Gorgeous part of Wales. Beautiful. Enjoy that, dude. Beans, 84 bikes. Just 4 bikes, mate. Just four. And what beautiful 4 they are as well, mate. 24 Charlie, have you got any plans for the Picos last minute, if you can, or any reorganised trips from last year? I don't at the moment, Simo. I hadn't planned to do any tours this year at all, but things are looking quite positive at the moment. I have some friends who are going, I think, in June. So I'm going to wait for them to go and get the feedback from them as to what it's like, what we need to do. And then once I've got actual sort of first-hand, well, second-hand, if you like, but first-hand because they're good mates of mine. Once I've got real up-to-date info as to what the state of play is with getting over there, I might look at doing a trip, because there's definitely a lot of people want to do it. And to be perfectly honest, I could do with the extra income off the tours. So watch this space. If it is going to happen, I'll post it up on the socials and in Patreon, obviously, first. Ashley Wright. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are you, Ash? Hope everything's good. Mark Keenan. Pete English, tell me about the photos you have of your neighbour. That's from the last podcast. That was with Jodie, wasn't it? Jodie Millhouse at Thornton 100. Pete's question was, what would you do if you were sent some pictures or vid of your next door neighbour in dodgy circumstances on WhatsApp? JH, hi Bruce. Can you do a review of how to load your bike before a camping trip, please? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if you'd want to. I don't know if you'd want to tour the way I tour when I'm camping, because I go very, very basic, very basic. So I don't know if I would be the best one to copy. I don't take a stove. I literally have I don't have a mat. I just take a sleeping bag, a tent, and that's it. Really, to be honest with you. A wash bag. I might have a head torch and some wet wipes. I'll leave that up to your imagination. That is about it, really. Probably not the best one to follow. Who do I know that is a big camper, actually? I'm not sure who camps a lot that I know. Now, TMF certainly doesn't camp. Rich, I'm not sure if Rich does. I don't know. I'll have a little think about that. If anyone's a regular camper on here that fancies maybe doing a vid, that could be handy. If you do the vid, I'll certainly publicise it on my channel and send them to your channel if you want. But I just don't think I'm the best one to do a vid on it, because you don't want to camp the way I camp. Pete English. I've got a cracking route all sorted if we decide to head up my way, North Yorkshire Moors. Yes, Pete, like I was saying, I won't go into the ins and outs and specifics, dates and stuff on here, because this is going to be public. But yes, absolutely, we will be following you. We'll be going up your way, as we have discussed. I'll put that on Patreon very soon. JH, going to ABR and Wild Bad Weekend of 21, my first camping trips. Awesome. I can't do the ABR, sadly, but I will be at the Wild Bad Weekender. We'll see you there. I generally don't even make my tent. I'm normally just in a drunken heap inside the bar tent. So I'll see you there. Kev Parker, hi everyone. Bruce, what format will the TV show take? Will it be anything like Henry Cole's? No. The producer is wanting to go for entertainment. He's wanting to go for an entertainment motorbike show. I think he wants to follow a similar format to Top Gear, but whereas before I think he was aiming to go at some real high value bikes, not the norm sort of stuff. I think he's maybe drawn that back slightly, and we will be doing bikes that you can get from a dealership, but they're going to be sort of higher level bikes, I think. From what I know of each of the 5 episodes, each episode is going to have a different theme, and then all the content will be based around that theme, such as one of the themes will be MotoGP, another theme's going to be electric, another theme's going to be like a cafe racer self-build type challenge. I think there's going to be one on the Isle of Man, all this sort of stuff. So watch this space. Basically, I still don't know totally myself. I do get told, but I'm a typical bloke and it sort of comes in here and out there. And I'm just waiting to turn up and be told, do this. So we'll see. It's going to be fun no matter what. Mike Phillipson, have you ordered a custom bobber from Jody? What a guy, what a podcast. Mike, I'm glad you enjoyed that podcast, mate. I genuinely found chatting with Jody really inspirational. By the end of that podcast, I was thinking, I am ready to take on the world here. What a bloke, 25 years of age, and he's got an old head on his shoulder. And where he's come from in 4 years, from a shipping container that had no door, no power, to, well, he's now building the global headquarters, and he's basically ready to start taking on the world. Incredible. Have I ordered one? No. I would love to. I genuinely would love to. I'd love to ride one. So, we'll see. I might get the opportunity to ride one. Might get the opportunity to ride one on the TV show. Watch this space. JH, it's Joe Hicks, by the way. Oh, how you doing, Joe? How are you, man? Chris Murphy, I like the style of the NC and riding position, and I love the sound of a triple. Other than that, clueless. Ah, right. Do you know what? Try the new Tiger 900. Is it the Rally Pro? I've not ridden it, but everyone I know that has ridden it has said it's a great bike. It's a cracking bike. I think it's the Tiger 900 Rally Pro. I think that's what it's called. Give that a little bash. The the Triumph sort of Explorers, they're good bikes, but I don't find them as dynamic as certainly as dynamic as like the KTMs, the Ducatis, the GS, that sort of stuff. But they're all bigger CCs. You know, the KTM would be a handful. You know, that if you go for the 1290, that is a brute. But then they do a 790. I think they do the 890. I might be getting the 890 soon, actually. So yeah, I would definitely suggest look at the adventure bikes, because even if you don't ride them off road, their handling and behaviour on the road, the characteristics just for road riding, it's phenomenal. You just, you know, for me, I don't see why you need anything else, because they're so seriously fast. They handle amazingly well. They're comfortable and practical. But it's a personal choice. Sometimes they're not your thing. Ashley, Johnny Hackinson, Richie does what? Camp? Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does camp. I don't think very often, but he does camp. Mark Keenan, Pete English will do the camping vid. Yeah, leave it to Pete. Pete will do it. Steve Sherlock, my bro just bought a KTM 690 Enduro R, and he wants me to do the same way a bike number 2, my 1290 GT. I didn't read that right. If anyone has a lightweight second bike, would welcome opinions. Thinking 790 or 890 Adventure R. Steve, I've not ridden either of them yet. I think I might have the 890 coming soon, so I'm looking forward to trying that. But I have no experience of the 690 or the 890. I've ridden a much older 690, but not the 7 or 8. Johnny Atkinson, my Tracer is a 2015, 97,000 kilometres, and I still love it. Good on you, man. Nice one. It's good effort. 6 years. What's that? 97,000 kilometres. What's that? About 70,000 miles? 75,000 miles? Something like that? Is it right? 60,000 miles? Good effort. Again, I have not personally ridden the Tracer, but I've got some real good close mates who bought them and owned them and loved them. Ashley Wright, love the podcast with Thornton 100. Thanks, man. Cheers. Yeah, I love chatting with Jody. Mark Keenan, Jody Millhouse is an inspiration to everybody. I love the podcast. That's brilliant. I'm really chuffed that you folks have enjoyed it. That's really good to hear. He's, do you know what I mean? Like, the bloke's self-taught. You can't take anything away from him. He's done incredibly well. Very jealous. Chris Murphy, Rally Pro or GT Pro? Oh, what, for the Tiger? For the Tiger 900? I think it's the Rally Pro. I think that's the one most people I know. Certainly, I think Lamb Chops and Rich Vida, Dickie, I think they've both ridden it, and it was the Rally Pro that they really enjoyed. Pete English, love the chat with Jody, even if he talked a million miles an hour. Yeah, he does, doesn't he? He does. Joey, he puts some hours in. I mean, he's like working 20 hours a day, that bloke. Good God. Johnny Hackinson, 61,500 miles. Good effort on your Tracer. 97,000 kilometres, 61,500 miles. Sheesh, that's good going. Beans, Spencer and Kathy were fantastic. Yeah, man. I mean, I know you've met them. I know that, Beans. But yeah, Spencer and Kathy are special people. Real, like Sam Manicum, they are special people. The kind of people that I want to be when I grow up. Ashley, right. I enjoyed that one too. Yeah, they were good. That podcast in particular went down really well. I got so much good feedback from everybody. So thank you very much, folks, for those of you who gave the old thumbs up and left a comment. Much appreciated. Right, how many have we got here? We've got 20 odd people on here. Excellent. Welcome, people. So what do you want to chat about? Somebody give us an idea. What do you want to chat about in this one? Silence. Can be anything. 24 Charlie, Simo, have you not been invited to Pete English's off-road school yet? I've been there. I have, actually, yes, and I will take him up on it. I will take him up on that offer. I actually did a Pete English on the KTM Super Adventure. I went out with my mate Matt, and he took me on this great little ride up through Essex and into, I think it was Suffolk we went to. But we found a little, what we thought was a little ford. And it was a proper death or glory moment. We didn't walk it or anything. So he started filming and I thought, well, it don't look too deep. So I went, and it was deep. it was deep. But obviously I got through, but I've got it all on tape, on video, and that is coming in the full vid. So wait to see that. But I didn't do a Pete. I didn't drop it. Mike Phillipson, I test rode the KTM 890 last Tuesday. Great bike, but getting back on the GS for the ride home made me realise the tractor is the best all-round bike in the world. Mike, I've got to say, when I left KTM last week after dropping the Super Adventure off, I jumped onto my GS and I was hoping that I would fall back in love with it. Otherwise, I would have to buy the KTM. I knew I would lose a load of money. It's going to cost me money. It was going to be grief. But, the KTM was pretty special. And I've got to say, I jumped back on my GS and it took me by surprise. It took me by surprise how capable that bike actually is. It won't beat the KTM. It won't beat it in acceleration. It won't beat it in top speed, but it'll certainly keep hold of it. And it's the more comfortable bike. For me, it's the more comfortable bike. Brian Tucker, K3 versus K5. Yeah, loads of people have asked for that one, Brian. It's on the list, mate. I have quite a big list at the moment of vids to get done. I've got a sponsor commitment with Cali, which they've been patiently waiting on for the last sort of month, 6 weeks. So that is coming out probably Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I'm aiming to try and get the Goldwing done after that. Got a couple of other bike review vids to get done, and then I will be working on the K3, K5. I'm hoping I've got some stuff coming up with biker picks as well. So we've be doing some filming with them. But the K3 versus K5 will be coming. I'm going to install the K5 back onto my bike, onto the GS. I personally just think it's a better system, so that's going back on mine. Mark Keenan, I've been on the Pete's tours. It was fantastic. It looks amazing. It does look stunning up there. Baines, what do you think about advanced motorcycle training? I think if it's your thing, why not? Do you know, if you think you need it, if that sort of right, I'll not beat about the bush. Some advanced motorcycle training, it's not my thing. Do you know, I've ridden with some of these people. I don't think they're particularly good riders. They've been taught a set way, and that is how they do it. It's not very flexible. They go by the good book, and that is it. But I've ridden with them, and it's not the way I would ride. I'm not saying I'm the best in the world at all by any stretch. I'm not saying that, but there's some aspects of it I don't agree with. It's not how I would ride. But that said, if you feel like you need it, go for it, because it can only help your riding. I think you will see something like a bike safe. If you go and do a bike safe, there will be something throughout that day which you didn't know about, and even if it's just positioning, simple positioning in the road can be a game changer for some people. Some people don't know about reading the limit points, and they don't know what road signs mean and road markings mean, all that sort of stuff. So just simple roadcraft can really change people's riding. So I don't think it can do you any harm, but to the same extent, it might not agree with everybody. Just conflict of personalities and things. You have to find, if it's the IAM or ROSPA or something like that, you have to find a group that you fit in with, that you get on with. That's the key to it. Right, where were we? No, number 11. Evening, Jill Blaines. Greetings from Yorkshire. Hope you're all well. Matt Townsley. How you doing, Matt? Yeah, all good, pal. How are you doing? Ashley Wright. Did you go swimming, Bruce? I didn't quite go swimming. I went paddling. And by paddling, wading's probably the better word. Wait for the vid. Pete English, can we chat about how to connect the Cardo to TFT nav and phone? I haven't got a frigging clue. Pete, I have tried that and I really don't like it, because the TFT takes precedence over everything else. I think there's like set ways you have to switch everything on. I just don't like it. So personally, I don't bother with any of that anymore. I just connect my phone to my Cardo, job done. That's it. There's plenty of vids out there showing you how to do it now, but I just don't like it. Mark Keenan, I love my GSA. Good on you, Mark. Neil Pendlebury, will Kawasaki allow their bikes on the new show? I know they don't like vloggers having them and giving their opinions on them. Why is this? Do you know what? I genuinely don't know. I didn't know. I don't know if that's actually a fact, if they don't like vloggers having them. But I have no contact with Kawasaki at all. I would love to, but I've got no contact. The only sort of contact I ever have about riding any sort of Kawasaki is through a dealership, and I haven't approached that in a long time. I would like to give them a go though. Will they be on the show? I don't know. I've not heard them mentioned in any of the production meetings as yet, but that said, they may well crop up. Really don't know. And as to they don't like vloggers having and giving their opinions on them. Why is this? Again, I don't know if that's true, but I really don't know, Neil. I can't comment on it because I don't know anything about it. Barry Lascelles, how long does it take you to edit a vid? The missus and I went on a trip to Italy in 2015. I've still not got round to editing the footage. I start, then I get lost in it all. Yeah, Barry, editing takes forever. Editing takes a long time. I'm speeding the whole process up now because I'm sort of giving up a little bit of ownership. No, ownership's not the right word. I don't want this to sound what's the word I'm looking for? Crikey, I've just had a mind fart. You know, I don't want to be saying, oh, I'm the best editor going. I used to spend way too long editing, trying to be a total perfectionist, you know, trying to get the best possible content, best edit I possibly could. And I would spend like, you know, easily 7 days, 18-hour days to edit a vid. And the vid would be like 25 minutes long, half hour long, get about 6 views. Then what I have started to do recently is I've started to be much more ruthless in the cut, in the edit. So I'm leaving a lot more stuff out, and I'm really trying to work on my storytelling through the vid. What used to be in my head is that I had to tell the story chronologically because that's how it happened. You know, I've got to be true to how everything happened, but that might not necessarily tell the best story. So you have to take that head off and put on like your storyteller head. Look at your content throughout the day. So what I would suggest is you break it down into days. You know, if you've got a week's worth of footage, break it just down into a day. Then put all that footage chronologically from start to finish on your timeline, and then sit and watch it. You know, it might take you 4 hours, 5 hours. You can speed watch it if you like, but just go through it and look at the bits where there's actually something happen. You know, something that's happening. Where's the dialogue? Where's the action? And cut all those bits and mark them so that you have them, and get rid of all the chuff. So you'll get that sort of 6 hours or 4 hours of content. You might get that down to 2 hours or an hour and a half. And then what you have to do is you have to go through that next chunk and start cutting out the chuff out of that, and you just keep whittling it down, and eventually you'll hopefully get down to like 15-20 minutes. Any more than that, you're going to lose people. People will not hang around to watch more than sort of 20 minutes these days. You'd be lucky to have a sort of 40% audience retention or more in a 20-minute vid, especially if it's a trip type vid. And that's what you want to try and have 50% of people still watching by the end of the vid. And then that's when the algorithm will start having a little look at you, allegedly. So yeah, it's just a question of, you know, it is time consuming. There's no getting around that. Just get rid of the chaff and tell the best possible story from the footage you've got. One way of speeding up that process is don't just switch the camera on at the start of the day and let it run for the whole day. What I do is if it's just me, what I'll do is I tend to go out and then I'll start recording. I'll have an idea as to what I want to chat about. So I'll hit record on the cameras. I've got the cockpit one and I've got a helmet one. So I'll hit record, sync them up. That's when I slam my visor down when I'm riding, and I can sync the two sound files up then. So then I know that when I'm starting to record, it's stuff that I've, stuff I wanted to record. So I'm generally saying something or something is happening that I want to include in the vid. That way I end up with, rather than 6 hours of footage or 8 hours of footage, I might only end up with an hour and a half or 2 hours originally. And I can cut that down even more and more and more and more and more. Ultimately, there's no quick fix for it, bud. It is a laborious process, and I suppose that's why most people don't do it. Where were we? So that was Barry. Beans. Pete, I managed to do it, but God knows how. Pure fluke and a hack, I think. Oh, that was connecting up your TFT and your Cardo. Yeah. Pete English, what's everyone drinking this evening? Mine's a Corona. Oh, I've got out-of-date Budweiser, Pete. So, slange, pal, slange. Still tastes quite good, actually. It's not bad, that. Blitzer109, sorry I'm late. Hope everyone is well. Welcome, pal. No worries at all. Thanks for joining us. 24 Charlie, would you ever contemplate an Alps tour, chicken strips, or on your own for the channel? I've done the Alps. I used to do a tour called the Big One with chicken strips, and we got the ferry. You'd get the ferry there down to Santander or Bilbao, and then we'd either do Picos and then the Pyrenees. Well, actually, no, we didn't do the Picos. We never had time for it. So you do Pyrenees, then you do the Gorge de Verdun, Millau Viaduct, Gorge de Verdun, right across southern France. And then you do the Route Napoleon up to Grenoble, and then from Grenoble across into Switzerland, go down through the bottom of Switzerland, which was horrendously boring, but eventually you get to the passes in the middle of Switzerland, and then we do like all the main. We didn't do the Stelvio on that one, but we do a lot of the Furka and all those passes north into Germany. From there, as soon as you get into Germany, you pick up the B500, and we do the full length of B500 all the way up to, can't remember the name of it, the Black Forest, basically. And then from there, we'd head up to the Ring, and then you get the opportunity to do a couple of laps in the Nürburgring if you wanted. Then we'd head across into Belgium, and we'd do all the forest routes back through Belgium into France, make our way to the tunnel and home. So it was a 10-day tour, but it was about 4,000 miles. So it was a big, big tour. It's hard going. The Alps is awesome. The Alps is really good, but they will hammer you for speed. They will hammer you for speed. And I just much rather go to Spain, to be honest with you. I'd much rather go Spain. So, yeah, I've got no plans. I've got no plans of doing any of my own tours that way, to be honest. It's not my kind of riding anymore. I can't be bothered watching my arse all the time with the old Bill. Just go to Spain, up in the mountains, and enjoy yourself. Tony Hannum, here and see you okay, Bruce, but chat list not updating. Oh, I don't know why that is, buddy. Anyone else having a problem with the chat list? Mark Keenan, Pete English, black coffee like a boss. Oh, that's what you're drinking, is it, Mark? Good on you. I've got some squash for when I finish my beers. Ashley Wright, he's drinking Sol. Good on you. Pete English, sorry, Johnny Hackinson, Earl Grey tea. Oh, he's highbrow, Johnny. Milk and a little honey. You live a different life to us. You and Bean should get together. You two will have something in common there. Tony Hannum, I'm doing a safe bike ride in September. Is that a bike safe ride in September with the police? Good on you. You'll enjoy that, Tony. It is good, man. The bike safe lads and lassies, they're generally all like proper bikers themselves. They've got a real passion for it. Certainly in the Met, they're a good bunch. So you'll enjoy it. Did you see Dickie Vegas? He did one recently with Egon and Gaz. So it's a weird sensation. It is a weird sensation having marked old Bill on the bike behind you, and when you get in the Nationals, you're cracking on. But it's good. I really enjoyed it. Steve Sherlock, talking about training, I'm doing my second session with the IAM on Tuesday, and the guys are ace. Awesome. Even if I learn one little more than I knew, then it's worth it. Plus, I get time off work. This is it. Absolutely. the key is finding a group that you get on with and instructors that you get on with. Then, it really is an enjoyable experience. Kevin Parker, red wine. Oh, God. We've got some class. We've got some class in this group this evening. Pete English, yep, that's what I've done. Too much tech for me. Oh, is this winging it? Is this trying to connect your TFT and Cardo and everything? Yeah, it's not for me, that. Ashley Wright, I'm doing a rider skills course on Wednesday with Bennett's. Oh, good. Looking forward to it, to be honest. Every day is a school day. Yeah, definitely, Ashley. Yeah, that's their, what are they called? Probably is Rider Skills Day. Yeah, I had an invite for it. Actually, pardon me. Johnny Hackinson. Bruce, what is the next adventure that we can get jealous about? For me, I haven't got anything planned at the moment. I have a UK thing planned, but I can't chat about that at the moment. It was going to be happening very soon, but as I mentioned right at the start, we have this rescue dog coming, and I don't want to get the dog and then bugger off for 4 or 5 days and leave my missus with this new dog. So that's going to be delayed for a little while. Big adventure wise, there's one or two things just starting to come in the pipeline, but I can't chat too much about it. Ultimately, it comes down to finances, folks, and I'll be brutally honest with you. I am on my arse at the moment, so I'm probably going to have to get a little part-time job or something, so I'll have to work things around that as we go. Not quite there yet, but I'm conscious that if things keep going the way they're going financially, savings dwindle, so I need to start earning. Sorry to be a downer with that. Johnny Hackinson. Oh, sorry, that was your question, Johnny. Pete English, how are you getting on with the new Dunlops, Bruce? I'm probably going to put the Anarchies back on. Oh, I didn't like Anarchies. The Dunlops, I've got the Mutants. I'll be genuinely honest. Well, I always am, but honestly, I'm loving them. I've had absolutely no cause for concern at all with these tyres, and I was out the other day with a couple of mates from a previous profession, if you know what I mean. We had a proper naughty ride. I have not ridden like that in a long time. And those tyres were phenomenal. Gave me absolutely no cause for concern. I've ridden them in the snow now. I've ridden them in the rain. It's been great. I think I've maybe done about 1,500 miles, 2,000 miles on them now. And yeah, no cause for concerns at all. I really didn't like the Anarchies. Well, they're known as Panikies, and I just did not like them. But again, tyres are a personal thing, aren't they? What some people love, other people hate. So try them, see how you get on. But I think the Mutants are great. Paul Creas. Good evening all. Hope everyone is keeping well. Yeah, we're all good. Cheers, Paul. Nice of you to join us, man. Thank you very much for coming here. Biker Hispania, Radler for me. Oh, man. I miss Radler. Radler, folks, if you've never tried it, is that sort of lemon beer they do out in Spain. It is gorgeous. Love it. You can drink pints of the stuff and then you can't get out your chair. 24 Charlie, how's the training going, dude? Oh, mate. Simo, I am so sorry to those of you that have been following the old Beast Bruce Trim Teapot thing on Instagram stories and Facebook stories. I basically haven't done anything for must be a month. In fact, it's probably a month. It's probably about 6 weeks now. Yeah, it probably is 6 weeks. I am so sorry. I had a week where I was out the door with work. Literally, I was up 5 or 6 o'clock every morning, out on bikes, away, either picking bikes up, dropping bikes off, filming for videos. I was just really busy that week, so I just couldn't train. And then, I could have trained in the evenings when I got back, but I was too knackered, and I put it off. Well, that week then went on to, I think, 4 weeks, and then eventually I was like, right, I need to train. I think I did 2 sessions, and then didn't start training again, the following week. So I think we're now at about 6 weeks really where I've not been training. I do apologise. I am getting back to it, I promise you. I think this week coming is a lot easier. I don't think I have any plans to be anywhere on any day this week that I know of. So I will get up early tomorrow and I'll get on that rower, or I might bully some kettlebells. But yeah, I need to get back to it. Sorry. Thanks for bringing that up, Simo. Tony Hannum, chat's okay now. Awesome, good. I'm glad it's all updating. Barry Lascelles, Iron Brew for me tonight. Good on you, Barry. I had a bottle of that new 1901 limited edition Iron Brew, which they say is the original recipe in a glass bottle. It was lovely. I really liked it. I'm trying to think if it's the same, if it is the same taste. Tasted like Iron Brew to me. Didn't taste like that new muck. So yeah, I liked it. Neil Pendlebury, Pendrin Welsh Whiskey, cheers. Oh, Neil, I have heard that is supposed to be mega. My father-in-law is a big whiskey drinker, and he had a bottle of it. Oh yeah, I did drink some of it. I couldn't remember, that's why. Really easy to drink, isn't it? Very smooth. Pete Brownsmith, sorry late to join the chat. Had biking weekend, so just in and settled. Hope all going good. Nice one, Peter. Where'd you go, pal? Peter is up my neck of the woods, up in Aberdeenshire. Where'd you go, pal? Tony Hannum, since the 1st of Jan, I've lost 2 stone. Jesus, Tony, have you? How'd you do that, pal? Is that just training, diet, all of the above? Pete English, I bet it's not some handbag accessory rescue dog coming, Bruce. Something big, I bet. I've always wanted big dogs. I've always wanted a Great Dane and some sort of Mastiff. There's 2 dogs I always wanted to have. It's not a Great Dane. It's some sort of Mastiff cross. It's a Greek rescue place, so they have these dogs called Greek Mountain Shepherds, which are big dogs. They're sort of like Mastiffs, but it's a mix of a Greek Mountain Shepherd stroke Mastiff and some sort of, the mum is some sort of farm beagle spaniel cross thing. So she's lovely. She's called Pippa. She was born right at the start of January, so she's going to be 5 months old by the time we get her. Brexit and COVID has caused massive delays in getting her and the 6 puppies coming over, so we've got one of them. So yeah, can't wait to see her. Barry Lascelles, 1901 is the nuts. Love the stuff. Yeah, it does taste good, doesn't it? Is it me, or does it taste like the original Iron Brew? I think it does. Ashley Wright, I've got Panikies on at the men, and I'm thinking about the Mutants or the Bridgestone A41s. Again, I've tried the A41s. They were okay. In fact, they were great in the UK. Where I found them a little bit wanting was in Spain. In the Picos, once they got really hot, and you've been pushing them hard in the mountain twisties, when they were really hot, I just found that they started to slip just a little bit, but that wasn't an issue in the UK. Never ever felt like that in the UK. The Mutants, again, I've not tried them in Spain yet, so they might do the same, because they're quite an open sort of tread, aren't they, the Mutants? So I would imagine that when that rubber gets really hot, like up in Spain in the mountains, that there might be a fair bit of movement. I don't know. Time will tell when I get them over there. 24 Charlie, would you not fancy a clan camping night? Sorry if I upset the posh kids. Do you know, I would love to. Yeah. If people are up for it, I will post up in Patreon the latest details and what sort of date that we're looking at. The dates have been narrowed down quite considerably, so it's sort of mid to end of June is the sort of time that we're going to be looking at. We're going to go up. Pete English is going to be our tour guide, so it'll be up that neck of the woods. So North Yorkshire Moors and the lakes up there. But if we could maybe do some camping, that could be a giggle. Well, I'll post it up in Patreon, and you lot let me know. I'll go where and do whatever you folks want to do. Brian Tucker, big dog, big stomach, big poop. Absolutely. Bit like its owner. Gary Whipperman, how you doing, guys? Hi all. Looking at your map you posted on places you'd been, you should pop up to Suffolk. Good beer here. Yeah, you know what, guys? I've not ridden up Suffolk way. I will, definitely. Yeah, I'll come up. If you fancy doing a ride, let me know. In fact, I'll drop you a message, mate, and I'll come up your neck of the woods then, and we'll do some exploring. Barry Lascelles, 24 Charlie, that sounds like a plan. What, the camping? Yeah, I think that could be a giggle, couldn't it? Pete Brownsmith, Loch Ness, Fort Augustus, Sealandonnan, Applecross, Ullapool and round. Oh, wow. Also on Saturday, did all the Glen Shee route, managed to dodge the crappy weather and wasn't bad overall. Oh, beautiful, man. I'm well jealous, Peter, up there. You've got, where you are, just sort of West Aberdeen, you're literally, you've got all these roads on your doorstep. Oh, beautiful up there. Cracking. Tony Hannum, stopped eating. Oh, is that how you lost the weight? I had a nightmare yesterday. I hadn't eaten during the day, so you know what it's like towards the end of the evening when it's dinner time and you think, just get a takeaway. So I ordered. I thought I'll be healthy, and I went for like a gourmet proper meat burger. So I had that. The burger wasn't, it's grilled, so there was nothing horrendous on it. A bit of mayonnaise on it, so that's not great. But I had ice cream for afters, and they sent like a 500ml tub of Häagen-Dazs. I ate the whole lot in one hit. Half a litre of Häagen-Dazs in one hit. And I literally had to lie on the floor. I thought I was going to die. Horrendous. That's my problem. I am a glutton. If there's food there, I've got to eat it. It's just terrible. Terrible. I'm ashamed of myself. Johnny Atkinson, 24 Charlie. We have some nice sights here in Sweden. I'm coming over there, Johnny. I'll be over there in September, pal. Might be able to meet up. Maybe. We'll have to. I'm away with another group. I think we've chatted about this before. I'm away with 5 other mates, so I can't really, I can't leave them. I have to be with them. So we'll see what we can do. Barry Lascelles, got a week off at the start of August to fill. Fancy doing something then? Where'd you fancy going then, Barry? Start of August. Do you fancy doing Scotland, or are you going to come down, do a bit of lakes, Yorkshire, meet up with Pete? He can take you around. You can take you around North Yorkshire moors, all up round there. I'm looking forward to doing that. It looks amazing in all those pictures that Pete's putting up. It looks stunning place. Beans, what you do, mate, is amazing. I love to see you do an adventure on your own. Could even be just in the UK, like that new GS vid when it broke down. What, the Four Corners? That's kind of what I had planned, but not on the GS. I don't really want to go too much into it. Well, I can't go too much into it at the moment because it'll spoil the surprise. I'll just be hit when it happens. I'll just be hitting the road on this. Well, there's two bikes that I've got my eye on to do it, and it will be all UK based. I won't be able to have people along with me for the whole ride, but I think what I'll do is once I'm on the road and people know what I'm doing, because I'll post up and tell you, is maybe I'll meet people along the way. The thing is there's no time to stop. I'll literally be sleeping at the side of the road in petrol stations, doing 15, 20-minute sleeps. It's a proper endurance ride. And there is method to the madness. But I can't have people along with me because it's not going to be fun, and it's not really going to be that safe. I think I'm okay with me doing it, but I don't want to have the responsibility of other people, if you know what I mean. But we'll see what we can do. Johnny Atkinson, I have enough room for them too. Cheers, Johnny. Thanks, pal. Steve Sherlock, Bruce, my mum just walked in and said she knows you. Her name is Fiona, and she's on the red wine. Say no more. Fiona who? Hi, Fiona. Steve, what's your mum's surname? What do you look like, Steve? 24 Charlie, what's the mileage on the GS now? Do you know, mate, it's not that much. It's pretty disgusting, to be honest. I think I've got about 8,000 on her, 9,000 on her, which is nothing because the bike's about 10 months old. So normally by this point I've got a good 30-odd thousand miles on them. But I just haven't ridden it that much, obviously, by the mileage. I need to remedy that, don't I? Baines, sounds great. Oh, what for this sort of challenging thing that I've got coming? Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing it. It's just trying to find the time and obviously not to labour the point, but the money to do it. But it'll happen. It will happen. Barry Lascelles, not been down south yet. Could be up for that. I mainly stick up here. Head to Callander, then to the Green Welly, and either Fort William or Oban. Well, this is the thing, man. You've got some of the best riding roads in the whole of the UK up there. So I don't blame you if you don't sort of venture anywhere else. But having said that, certainly the Lake District and the Peak District, some beautiful roads up there. I still don't think they beat Scotland, but, they are pretty special. And you got Wales as well, obviously. Barry Lascelles, fancy a change? Aye, definitely. Tony Hannum, to lose weight, you just need to burn more than you're taking in. That's true, isn't it? Yeah. Put out more than you put in, if that makes sense. Steve Sherlock, I have a beard just like you. She's from Glasgow and maiden name Kinsley. Fiona Kinsley. Did she work in the garage? I used to work in a nightclub called The Garage. Christopher Murphy, I'll be doing Normandy at some point. Done it with work, ex-coach driver. Yeah, that is nice, Normandy, isn't it? I love all the Second World War stuff along there, all the gun batteries and the sites and stuff that you can go to. It's a real sobering sort of place. And when you go out Omaha Beach and places like that, it's crazy. Like Omaha Beach now, you can go down onto the beach and there's a surfer cafe, and you can sit at this surfer cafe and drink your latte and eat a croissant whilst you're looking at the beach. But you know that was 70 odd years ago and now 80 years ago that happened there. It's mental to think. I think who was it? Oh God, a total mind fart. I really do apologise, lads. There's the touring channel, loads of the lads. Someone remind me, what's it called? Oh, it's a load of boys that they went over and they've done a tour series on the battlefield tours, all there. It's well worth seeing. I've forgotten the name. God, I follow the channel. I've totally forgotten their name. Do apologise. Oh, God, that's embarrassing. Pete Brownsmith, if it's any help on my trip round Scotland today, eating junk and riding, according to Apple, I burnt 850 calories and 61 minutes of exercise. So the biker diet is born. Get out there on the bike. Yeah, I used to say that, Peter, but for someone that rides like professionally for a living now, I should be like this. I used to see that. Like I would get home after being at work, and I've done like 3,000 steps just riding to work and back. And you're like, well, I should be as thin as a rake here. Doesn't quite work, mate. Doesn't quite work. What's the name of that channel? That's really annoying me. Someone out there must know the name. Tour. Hang on. I'm not ignoring you. I'm just going to have a quick look on my phone. See if I can find this channel. That's really annoying. Tour. You forgot to switch your on-air sign. The trouble is, Pete, watch what happens when I switch it on. You can't make out what it says, can you? It just all disappears, just blows out. So I just have to do it like that, and then I put a little light behind it to sort of highlight it a wee bit. It's pre-recorded. I wish. It wouldn't be this crap if it was pre-recorded. Well, that's annoying me. What is the name of that? It's a bunch of lads. They all go away on tours all the time. Do some great videos. Subscriptions. They do cracking vids. What's their name? Anyone out there remind me? Come on, somebody must know them. 24 Charlie, quick plug here. Sorry, Bruce. It's all right, pal. I'm doing the Cymru Nevils end of May around the perimeter of Wales, all dressed as Evel Knievel. It's for Macmillan, raised 130,000 so far, so give us a wave, lads. Top man. Good on you, Simo. I saw that last year when you did it, pal. Can you post up a link here? If you post a link up here, then feel free, and I will put that in the description. If you can't post it up here, then send the link to me and to your Just Giving, and I will put it in the vid description for this vid. How's that? Barrel Cells, 44 teeth. No, it wasn't 44 teeth. 24 Charlie, Bodega Tape Adventure. Nope. It's got tour in the title. Hang on, I have about 500 people that I follow, and I'm just scrolling through the list as we speak to find them. Where are they? I've got to give them a shout out because their stuff is amazing. The content is really good. Moto Tour. Motorev. So it's Moturev. Motorev. Those lads. Check out their stuff. In fact, can I type it in the... I might be able to type it in the... Motorev. That one there, Motorev. Check out their channel, folks. They do... Their editing has come on leaps and bounds over the last year or so. I hope the lads don't mind me saying that, but it really has stepped up, and it's cracking. Mike Phillipson, any Toro plans this year? I still have a cancelled trip from 2020 to reschedule. Thinking about going out in September. God knows how Lyndon is coping. Mate, I feel so sorry for those folks. There's Lyndon that has Toro Trail, Toro Adventure, and then there's obviously my mates over at Canary Motorcycle Tours as well. You know, their businesses have... Well, they've just stopped. You know, there is no help for them. It's just stopped. So, you know, my heart goes out to them. Yes, I will, as soon as Lyndon is in a position to have me down there, then I will definitely go, and I'll take people with me if you want to come. It's not my position to say, you know, I'm not sponsored by Lyndon or anything like that. I don't want to take paying customers' places away from him, because obviously when the doors open, he wants to fill them with as many paying punters as possible, I'm sure. But if the invite comes for me to go, then I will definitely go. So might see you down there, Mike. If you've not been, folks, it is awesome down there in southern Spain. Fantastic roads, really are good. And he does the tour across into Morocco as well. You can do road, you can do off-road. It's great fun, great giggle. Pete English, I've got Lyndon on speed dial when the door opens. I bet you do, Pete. You live down there now, man. Blitzer 109, Motorev, yeah, that's them. Yeah, great, well worth watching. They seem to have, they've got a massive big group of them that go away, and a bit like Dickie Vegas and his group, but they've got an even bigger group now, and they all seem to have a right good laugh when they're away. Simo, did you give me the link? Is that it? Bodega Tape Adventure? Is that the link, pal? Is that what people type in? Tony Hannon, would love to go with you, Bruce. Oh, thanks, man. If we can, you know, obviously it's not my place to say, yeah, come with me, because I might not get invited. But if I am, then yeah, definitely let's do it. 24 Charlie, Pete's chief instructor. Who's that? Oh, what, Lyndon? Brian Tucker, who do you have in the pipeline for the podcast? I have... right, I've got a little list here. See which ones I can tell you about that I've actually confirmed so far. So we're doing this week. Then I have... Oh, I've got Grace Webb, you know, from CBeebies, from the kids... She does the kids' TV programmes all about engines and bikes and cars and all this sort of stuff. Well, she's coming on, so I'm looking forward to chatting with her. Then I've got the Arctic Rider, Gordon. Don't know if you know about Gordon. Gordon does loads of big sort of endurance charity rides to raise money for a charity very close to him and his family's hearts called the Tiny Lives Trust. He's got a big challenge coming soon, so he's going to come on and have a little chat about what he's got planned, what he's done, why he does it. He's really, really nice fella, Gordon. I've had a chat with him before a few years ago. And they're the only two that I have totally confirmed at the moment. I'm trying to get Matt Pritchard, you know, from Dirty Sanchez. I'm trying to get him on because he's just rode the Atlantic with 3 other lads. So I'm trying to get him on. I've been trying to get Motonosity on, but he's not replied to anything as yet. So if anyone knows him, please give him a little nudge. And I have other people who I've sent some inquiries out to, and we're just trying to set some dates. So it's not confirmed that they're actually going to come on as yet. I try to work like a month in advance. So I try to have like a month's worth of guests booked, and then I can start working on the next month and the next month and the next month and just rolling it along like that. But if you've got recommendations, if you've got people that you would like to see or listen to on the podcast, by all means, either put them in here, drop me messages on social media, all that sort of stuff. Let me know. What do we have here? Barry Lascelles, Dickie Vegas. All right, well, laughing at Dickie Vegas. Yeah, he hates that. He hates it. 2-4 Charlie. No, Bruce, that's what I thought you were looking for with Motor F. All right, okay, sorry, pal. We'll send the link ASAP. Yeah, cool. So, Simo, if you send me that link, pal, I'll put that in the description for this. And people, if you want to donate to what Simo's doing, that Evel Knievel ride around Wales, then check out the description once this goes public, and it will be there. Mark Keenan, you haven't mentioned your round the world trip yet. Mention it. Rode round the world, you know. I hope that doesn't pee people off. I'm sorry. It's not a conscious thing. It just comes up in conversation. So I hope it doesn't pee people off. Beans, I always remember a few years ago I bumped into you in Riano. Yeah, that's right. We had a coffee and a chinwag when the world was so carefree. Such great riding territory. Yes, mate, it is, totally. You were with your boy, weren't you? That's right. We met up there at that lovely hotel and stuff. I can't wait to get back there, Beans. I really can. That's a part of the world where I could move and live in a heartbeat. But sadly, my missus isn't up for that. So, but yeah, I love it there. I absolutely love it there. I'm hoping that the whole Brexit thing hasn't put a spanner in the works, you know, for just jumping on your bike, getting a ferry or get the train over and just going for it. I can't see why it's going to be too different, because we still had to go through passport checks when you went by the ferry and the train. So I'm just hoping it's not going to be a major pain in the arse, because I can't wait to hit the road down there. Pete English, I've had to turn down this year's Morocco trip as it clashes with Wild Bad Weekender. Does it? Oh, man. Gutted. But, you know, Wild Bad Weekender is going to be pretty special this year. It's going to be very drunken. Very drunken. Brian Tucker, have you tried Itchy Boots? Yes, mate, I have. I've tried her a couple of times. I've even had a few people who've met her out in the street over in, I think she's from Denmark or somewhere, but they met her in the street and they actually said, oh, you know, you need to go on this guy's podcast. I know she's read my messages, but she's never replied, so done. Kevin Parker, I've also got a tractor and I'm looking for a new adventure helmet. The RI looks good. What's your opinion? I've never been able to get on with RIs. You know, when I started riding, certainly back 2008, 2009, even the helmet shops used to say to you, you know, you're either a shoey head or an RI head. Now, I don't think that's so true, because both RI and shoey have a whole different range of lining, you know, pads and things that you can put in there to fit your head. So they both claim they can accommodate any head out there. But I still prefer the shoey. I've got to say, I've got another, thank you to Shoey UK, but that's because of this is because of the TV show. So I've got the new Hornet ADV. And obviously up there is, up that top bit there, that's my original one that I bought myself. I love them. I like the peak lids, and from what I've worn so far, the Shoey's the best one for me. So, but again, try yourself, you know, get yourself into the shop, try them out, see what you think. And buy, please, folks, when you can, buy from the shop, the UK shops, because they're on their arse. They need all our custom. We really have to try, and I know what people do. You know, we all go to the bike shop, we all try on the kit, and then we go online and buy it cheaper abroad. But if you can, try and buy it from the UK shops, because they need our custom. And, you know, if we don't shop there at the end of the day, they'll shut down, and then, you know, we won't have like high street shops, biking shops anymore. Gary Whipperman, went to Stoneham Bike Show today. Anyone go? See a clan sticker, BMW and sidecar outfit. Was a good do. Jacques Lucasen would be good. I tried to get Jacques on. Jacques was all set to come on, and then had a touch of the seconds, and he just didn't. He didn't want to come on in the end. I don't know. He just didn't fancy it. So he was a no. I managed to get in touch with Royal Jordanian. I actually did get in touch with him, and he did reply, but he would only come on for half an hour, and he would only answer questions that he'd pre-read and authorised. So I said, that's not how this works. So thanks, but no thanks. Johnny Hackinson, I still recommend Pedro Mota. Who was that, Johnny? I've had a few people contact me, and I've got one lined up. I've got this chap, Chris Donaldson. I've bought his book, and I said to him, I'm going to read your book, and then once I've read your book, then you'll come on to the podcast and we'll have a chat. Basically, he's from Belfast, and he rode a 1970s Moto Guzzi Le Mans on the way to Australia. Something happened. I don't know what happened yet, but he is looking very soon to take exactly the same bike and complete the journey. So I'm really looking forward to having a chat with him. I just need to read the book, find the time to read the book. What else do we have? Oh, you said a clan sticker BMW and sidecar outfit. That's probably Murt, my mate Murt. Is Murt on here? Murt's in the clan. What's his tag? Something Leprechaun. Murt Walsh. What's his... I've forgotten what his tag is. So something Leprechaun on Patreon and on social media. But yeah, he's got the sidecar unit. 24 Charlie, any new clan stickers available or plans to modify it? Not at the moment, because I've still got loads left. I think I got a little bit keen when I got them printed up, and I've still got a fair few to get through. The merch, I've got to be brutally honest with you, the merch is sort of tailed right off. We're not doing many sales in it at the moment, so I need to have a chat with Rog that does all the merchandising, and we'll probably be looking at coming up with a new line to sort of, get the sales going again. So watch this space. Pete English, say it loud and proud, Bruce. Round the world is a bloody huge achievement, pal. Cheers, Pete. Thank you, man. Feels like a different life, man. It really does. Mark Keenan, get Pete English back on the podcast again. Now, speaking of that, how does everyone feel about repeat guests? Because, I've had a couple of people back on, and I would like to have, like how Joe Rogan and a lot of the other people do. They have not regular guests, but they have the same guests come on multiple times. And I really don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I want to gauge what you folks think about it. If I was to get the usual crew, TMF back on, Lamb Chop, Sticky Vegas, Andy Mancam, Likeable Rider, all people like that, Official Mr. Fish. If I was to get, people back on again for another chat, would you be all right with that? Let me know. Beans, have you heard of $1 Million Bogan? He would be sensational on Brew Time. Yes, again, I've been chatting with him. He's got the whole Big Brother thing going on in Australia at the moment, but we were chatting about it, and hopefully might be able to get him on. Watch this space. Contentious figure, very contentious figure. I've mentioned it before in podcasts, and I've had messages from people going, don't get him on, don't like what he says, but I've had other people saying, oh yeah, I'd love to chat with him. So watch this space. Pete English, what about Legit London for a podcast guest? I was thinking about him today, actually, Pete. You read my mind. There's sort of a young breed on Instagram coming through, and I would like to get some of them on for a chat for sure. A lot of them keep their identity secret, so I'm not sure how we would do that in a podcast. They might have to keep their helmets on or something. I don't know. But yeah, Legit London's definitely one I'd love to get on. Johnny Atkinson, Pedro left Netherlands for a trip and just kept going. Awesome. Johnny, if you've told me about him before, did you send me a message on Patreon about him? He's ringing bells. Pete English, the mad leprechaun. That's him. That's Murt with the sidecar, BMW. Lovely fella. And his missus. Mark Keenan, repeat guests are great. Top stuff, good stuff. Stephen Spencer, nothing wrong with repeat guests as long as it's not just repeating the same old guff every time. Yeah, absolutely. We've got to have, there's got to be a reason for it, hasn't there? We've got to have something else to chat about. 24 Charlie, no problem with repeat guests from my end. However, I was really fascinated with Lyndon Poskett's story. Yeah, I want to get Lyndon on when I hit 100. When we get to the 100th episode, I want to try and get him back on. Seems a nice guy. He's mad keen to get me off-road, so we'll see how things go. But if I can get myself down to Spain, I might do a bit of off-roading with him. Mark Keenan, how about Ed March, C90 Adventures? Yeah, loads of people have said about Ed. Can try and get him on. See how we get on. Pete Brownsmith, think repeat guests is fine if it's spaced out and different content. Yeah, definitely. Tony Hannum, would we be able to do a live chat with the people on the meetup in June like this? I thought about doing that, about doing like a big old group podcast, but I'm not sure how it would work because what will happen is you'll have people talking in the background. We'd need to find somewhere quiet to do it. And then obviously it means multiple mics. I would need different sort of sound recorders to take all those different inputs and record them. I just think going by the last clan meetup, we had 30 odd people, I think, 20, 30 odd people. And that's just not, you just couldn't do a podcast with 20, 30 people. It just wouldn't work. I don't know. We'd need to have a think about that, I think, Tony. Beans, yes, get heavyweight vloggers back on, mate. Yeah, definitely. I love having sort of vloggers and moto vloggers on, but that's not just what the podcast is about. You know, the podcast is all live your life. So the podcast is about getting people on who have a story to tell. And for me, I'm not worried if they've got nothing to do with bikes at all. You know, I just want interesting people on who've got a story to tell. So I've been trying to broaden it a little bit recently, you know, with like Sean Conway, and I had the McLean brothers on. So I've been trying to sort of broaden the horizons a wee bit and just test the waters and see how that goes down with people. And people seem to be enjoying it. So yeah, I will get the vloggers back on, definitely. Gary Whipperman, how about Gareth Jones, Pan Without a Plan? Actually, that is a cracking idea. I actually was chatting with Gareth on Insta Messenger recently, and yes, that will happen. I will get him on for sure. Great laugh. Brian Tucker, Zoom call podcast. What a nightmare that would be, wouldn't it? Pete English, one-on-one podcasts would be a fantastic next step. That was my original plan, guys, was I never ever wanted to do the podcasts, you know, via Zoom call, the way I've been doing it, but obviously COVID stopped that. I like the way, you know, you're Joe Rogan, you're chasing the racing style, sitting next to people face to face. That's how I want it to be. Obviously, sometimes you can't do that. Sometimes we'll have to do that over Zoom, but eventually that is the plan, is to go places on the bike, you know, ride to wherever the next guest is or near them, do some content on the roads and the bike scene going up that way. And then obviously I can go and meet the person and do the podcast, film all that. That is my ultimate plan, if I have a plan. Mark Keenan, sorry Bruce, it froze. What did you say about Ed March? Yeah, there's been loads of people asking, so I will drop Ed a line and see if he's up for coming on. Chris Murphy, pissed up chat around the campfire. Nothing better. That's why I like overland events so much, because that's exactly what that is. Johnny Hackinson, I tried to put in a link to his YouTube channel. Cheers, Johnny. Is this for Pedro? Nice one. 24 Charlie, Guy Martin. I think Guy would be he'd be a cracking guest. I think I have already sent Guy a couple of Instagram messages, but I've never had any reply. I'll see. I'll keep working on that because I would love to get him on. Ashley, right, I'm off. Good night, everyone. See you again soon. Cheers, Ashley. Thanks very much for coming on, pal. Appreciate you having a chat. Pete English, our follow-up chat will be around the pool at Toro. Definitely will be, mate. Lyndon wants to come on. Lyndon at Toro wants to come on the podcast. And I want him on the podcast. But I said I would rather do it in person because obviously then we're going to be in Spain, aren't we? So watch this space. I will get Lyndon on. As you know, Pete, he's a great bloke and he's got some stories to tell. How is everybody for time? That's an hour and 20 minutes we've been on here. How's everyone? Are you all done, or do you fancy carrying on? Let me know. Harry Metcalf of Harry's Garage as a guest. He's a bike lover. Harry's Garage. I've never heard of Harry's Garage. Hang on, let me make a little note. Harry's Garage. Right. Okay, I'll check that one out. 2-4 Charlie, keep going. Cheers. Oh, I tell you who I did want to have on. I don't know if any of you listened to it, but I was invited onto, there's a beard oil called Bra Beard Oil. And they have a comedian called Billy Kirkwood, who's a Glasgow comedian. And he does like a Facebook Live every Sunday. It's like a podcast, but it's all live. Like this. So I went on theirs and he was a great laugh, but we were limited to an hour, I think it was, and we had a scream. So I said to him, look, I'd love to get you on my podcast for a chat. So hoping to get him on, and then I'm also hoping to get John, the actual guy behind Brawbeard. I'm hoping to get him on because he's got a hell of a story about how he started Brawbeard. So watch the space. Pete English, now the podcast is back in the top 10, they will be knocking down the door. Mate, honestly, I think I was at number 3 or number 4 for quite a while. And then I'll tell you when it was, I went to Slovenia last September on a trip with Canary Moto Tours over there. And I had a period, I think 2 weeks or 3 weeks where there was no podcast. And it absolutely killed the podcast. It just plummeted out of the ratings. So it's taken me since September, to get it back up to the top 10. So it's just sort of hovering around 10, 11 at the moment. We'll get there, pal, we'll get there. Everyone's saying keep going. Okay, that's good stuff. Right. Johnny Hackinson, I put the link in the comments on Patreon. It didn't work here. All right, Johnny, thank you very much for that, mate. I'll take it from here. Austin Vince would be good. Yes, yeah, guys, I want to get Austin and Lewis on it as well. Austin Vince is the chap that did like Moto Enduro and Moto Enduro. Fantastic series. I want to get him on. Lois Price is his missus. 2 amazing overland travellers, but they both were I can't remember if they had COVID or if they were struggling with COVID. So I think both of them were on the risk register, I think. So now that's all passing, I will touch base with them and see if they'd be up for coming on, because it would be a great to have one or both on. Beans, do you know if Ben King is going to carry on with his trip, Bruce? I really don't know. I haven't heard from Ben in ages. I haven't seen any updates on his channel for quite a while, but that's nothing out of the norm, is it, for Ben? His plan was, but I think he's just bought his new bike, didn't he? When he came on the podcast, he'd just bought a new Triumph. So I don't know. It would be a shame if he doesn't do it, but to the same extent, you know, if that's not in his plan for the moment, there's no point forcing it, is there? So I don't know. Genuinely don't know. Kevin Parker, got to go, guys. Early start tomorrow. Really enjoyed it. Stay safe. Cheers, Kev. All the best, pal. Thank you very much for joining us. Gary Whipham, Mondo Enduro. Yes, that was Austin's thing. Yep. Harry Metcalf. Okay, so that's Harry's garage. Harry Metcalf. Okay. Mark Kieran, Chris Moss from 44 Teeth. Jeez. Mossy. I would love to get Mossy on. Mossy would be awesome. But I think Mossy would be a case of, we'll start the podcast, I'll introduce him, and about 5 hours later, I'll stop the podcast. but what a chat that would be. Yeah, bugger it. Let's try and get Mossy on. Okay. All right, I'll make another one on there. Mossy. I've not made any contact with Mossy, actually. We'll see what we can do. I was trying to get Chris and Al Fagan from 44 Teeth. I was trying to get them back on. Al was up for coming back on. He was going to check with Chris, and then I think they have just been out the door with work, so they just haven't had the time. Mark Keenan, get the bleep machine out. What, for Mossy? Oh yeah, definitely. Jeez. Pete English, Ben Fogel, I have sent, I'm a bit of a stalker now with Ben, I think. I have sent him loads of messages on Instagram trying to get him on. He's not replied to anything yet, so I don't, you know, when people don't reply, I don't want to keep trying, because you come across as a bit stalkerish, don't you? But I would love to get Ben Fogel on. Beans, cheers for now, Bruce. Take care, all. Cheers, Beans. Thank you very much for coming on, mate. Look after yourself. Mike Phillipson, I know this year is a bit of a write-off, but are you still hoping to get a thing going in Slovenia next year with Martin and Joy? Yes, I think I might be back to Slovenia this year, possibly. It's still a little bit up in the air at the moment, because obviously they can't They can't put anything. Basically, they're hoping to come back as a channel sponsor, and if they do, then there will be, regular trips to the Canaries and Slovenia with them. They have big plans for the Slovenian arm as well. Well, they've actually got big plans for the Canary arm, some pretty big special tours based over in the Canary Islands as well. They're hoping to develop things over there. I've got the Slovenia series from last year. I've still got that to edit, and that will be coming out when they're ready to start publicising it, because obviously there's no point in PRing Slovenia when people can't get there. So we have to play that by ear, really, as to when tourism starts opening up. But it's a special place. Where are we? 24 Charlie loved his Chernobyl TV documentary. Ben Fogel. Yeah. I'd love. He's another one. He's another guy that has done so much. He's rowed across the Atlantic. He walked across the Arctic, didn't he? He's done so many amazing things. Phenomenal. So yeah, I would love to have a chat with him. Steve Spencer, we go mountain biking in Slovenia. It's a stunning country. Hopefully out there in August. Oh wow. Yeah, it is. There is so much history there as well, isn't there? 24 Charlie, get Slovenia tours to take you to Bosnia. We actually went into Bosnia by mistake. There's a secret airbase built into the mountains in sort of eastern Slovenia. So you go there and do this little sort of look around. Nothing official, but there's a runway, because the planes, the whole aircraft, I think it's the Yugoslavian army. Was it Yugoslavian army? Whoever, pardon my ignorance, but they were based inside this mountain, and I think they could be up in something like 5 minutes or 6 minutes. They could be literally up in the air from when they're told to go, and they would taxi straight out the mountain onto a runway and then just take off. So obviously, bikers being bikers, we got it all on camera. We got onto the runway and we had drag races to see how fast we could go on the runway. But when you look at the tracking app, we actually, the end of the runway crosses into Bosnia. So we just crossed into Bosnia illegally. So I haven't got the stamp, but I've been to Bosnia now. Johnny Hackinson, a Brit, a blonde, a bike. Dickie Vegas knows them, rides in New Zealand. Yes, I was following them actually. We had chatted for a while. It's sort of drifted off a bit at the moment. But yeah, they're another ones. Let me have a look here. Brit, a blonde, a Blake. Brit, blonde, a bike. Sorry folks, I'm just making note of all this and I can follow this all up. 24 Charlie. Java Airbase. Been there too. I bet you have, mate. Yeah. I think it would probably be a little bit more exciting when I was there. Where are we? Is that the end of the chat? Hang on. Right. Yeah. What else can we chat about then? John McGuinness, as a guest. Yeah, of course, I would love to have McGuinness on. Have I actually dropped him a line? I don't think I have, That's one to drop a line out. How about splitting podcast into episodes, Bruce? Would that work? Extra content when you're away? Nah, it's not what I want to do, to be honest. Like the podcast is all long form content, so it's kind of how it works. There's loads of truckers and drivers and people that like to listen to the podcast just all in one hit. So if you want it broke up into parts, you can do that when you listen to the podcast, can't you? You can just pause it and come back to it and listen to it another day or another week if you like. But there's plenty of people out there that like to listen to it all in one hit. So I don't really like the idea of breaking it up. Pete English, can we talk about what gloves they all have? I can only get away with summer glove, wide hands, short fingers. Spent 20 minutes trying to get my what? Your what? So you struggle with gloves then, do you, Pete? Yeah, but summer gloves on a tractor, on a GS, you get away with summer gloves on a tractor because the heated grips are so hot. I've got these Spiddy, what are they called? I've got these Spiddy waterproof summer gloves now, and they're great. They're awesome. They're padded, but really light. I love them. Can't remember what you call them. Gary Whipperman, No Tire Frontiers. What's that? Is that a channel or is that who's that, Gaz? Brian Tucker, get Mrs. Pot back on so we can get more behind the scenes stories. Do you know, Mrs. Teapot seemed to go down. Wait, that sounds weird. She went down really well after that. Mrs. Teapot's episode, people seem to really enjoy that. I was quite surprised. She could come back on, I suppose. Winter gloves on with wet hands last weekend. Oh yeah, that's always a nightmare, isn't it? Wet hands into any gloves. You end up pulling the lining out, don't you, when you take your hand out. I don't wear winter gloves with the GS because the heated grips are so good. So I was wearing my Nox Handroids. I've got like 6-year-old Nox Handroids, which I love. And then through the TV show, got given these Spidey little casual gloves, which I kind of thought, oh, they're not going to be any use, but they're actually really good, brilliant. So I actually wear them all the time now. I can't remember what you call them though. They're dark blue. You see them in my latest vids. That's the ones I'm wearing, obviously. 24 Charlie, any plans for moving house north yet? Certainly not at the moment. My dad is moving back up north very soon, but they've just had another blooming election up there, didn't they? And the old SNP have done really well, and I'll not move back to Scotland if they could get independence. I'm not doing that. So I don't know, mate. We'll leave that. We'll not get political. 24 Charlie, any Rucka laminated gloves? Oh, that's for Pete English. Pete English, waterproof summer gloves. This time next year, you'll be a millionaire. Those Spidey ones, they're genuinely waterproof gloves. So, yeah, great. Johnny Hackinson, heated grips is not enough when it's 10 below zero. Well, I mean, they've been fine for me. It was minus 15 when I rode to the studio in Wales in February time. Minus 15 when I left in the morning, going along the motorway at one point, and I had Nox Handroids on and heated grips, and they were, no, I didn't. I'm lying out my bum. Hush your mouth, smart. I had the Keys heated gloves, didn't I? I had those battered because I did a review on it. I take all that back. I had heated gloves on with the heated grips. So yeah, okay. You win that one, Johnny. I'm lying. Spidey link. Oh, for the gloves. I can't do it on here. 24 Charlie. Bit slow with the out-of-date beer tonight, Bruce. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I've nearly finished one bottle. I'm such a slow drinker these days. Yeah, Pete, I will. I'll tell you what. I'll put a link for the gloves in the vid description when it goes live. So Spidey gloves link. Sorry, folks. It's a bit boring if you're listening to what I'm saying. Yeah, so I'll do that. Basically, folks, if you're listening to this or watching it, check out the show notes or the vid description, and there will be links to Simo's charity ride. There will be links to the Spidey gloves that I wear, and who knows what else there'll be links for in there. Steve Wright, good morning from New Zealand, Bruce. Cheers to the great content. What about Guy Martin for a chat? How you doing, Steve? How is it? How are you getting on? Yeah, we sort of chatted about that a little bit earlier. I am going to try and get Guy Martin. Yeah, I think I already have sent him a message quite a while ago, but I will follow it up and see if I can get him on. 24 Charlie, the liver is evil and must be punished. Yes, I don't know how much punishment Budweiser's going to do it though. It's a bit tame, isn't it? Oh, Gary Whipperman. Tim and Marissa Notia. Book called Two Up and Overloaded. American couple. Oh, okay. All right. I don't think I've ever heard of them. Two Up and Overloaded. Two Up and Overloaded. Yeah, folks, these are possible future podcast guests. So if you can think of any, leave some messages here in the chat, and I can see if we can get them on. I'm looking forward to chatting with young Grace that's coming on next week. I mean, yeah, okay, yeah, she's a beautiful young lassie, but I don't know if any of you have watched her show. I think it's called Grace's Amazing Machines or something on CBeebies. But it's amazing. She's bringing youngsters into not just bikes, but they cover electric, they cover how different machines work. It's really interesting stuff. So yeah, looking forward to having a chat with her. Gary Whipperman, have a look at their YouTube channel with Tim and Marissa. Yes, mate, I will do. Tim and Marissa Notia. I will. I'll check that out, bud. Definitely. How would you feel about other YouTube vloggers, not moto vloggers? Excuse me. Because I'm quite tempted to try and get people like, not that I ever think they would, but I might try and get Peter McKinnon on, Gene Nagata, Potato Head, that's what he goes by. There's a Hungarian guy called iPhondu. They do like tech style. Well, Peter McKinnon is just stunning what he does. McKinnon, what he does. Gene Nagata, Potato Head, and iPhondu are like technology based YouTubers. But how would you would you be interested in people like that coming on and hearing chat with them? Let me know. PewDiePie. I mean, wow. Do you know, I've never watched a PewDiePie vid, ever. Never, ever watched a vid. Brian Tucker, will get your name to a bigger audience. I don't know if it would, though, because I kind of thought that with people like Sean Conway and the McLean brothers and all this sort of stuff. You know, I've had people like, you know, Chasing Two Wheels on. It's got over 1 million subscribers and nothing really happened with that. I've had Peter Hickman on. Wasn't particularly big. You know, it's weird what does well and what doesn't do well on here. Who knows? Pete English, is there anything us clan can do to help? Clan numbers or podcast guests or even with the YouTube channel? Honestly, like, you folks in the clan already go way above and beyond what most people out there do. The best way to support people like me on YouTube is when you get is click the subscribe button and notify the bell. You know, click the bell, because then when you ding dong that bell, that means when I publish a vid, you'll get a notification to say Teapot's published a new vid, and the algorithm is looking to see how quickly and how many people click on that notification when it's delivered, and then it looks at how much of the vid do you watch once you start watching it. So in a perfect world, every single person, when they get a notification, will click it and they'll watch that whole vid. Then they'll give it a thumbs up and they'll give a comment and they'll share it. That is literally like tick, 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 A star. That ultimately is what the algorithm wants to see. So if you could do any or all of that, that would be a fantastic help, people. But obviously, if you don't like the vid, don't give it a thumbs up, give it a thumbs down, because that matters not. You know, the algorithm doesn't care if it's a thumbs up or a thumbs down. It's just looking to see that you've engaged, you've interacted. A comment and a share is huge. So, you know, if you could do any of that, it would be a massive help. And just tell anyone that you think that might like the podcast, or anyone that you think might like the YouTube vids, just spread the word. That's all I can ask, folks, is, you know, and if people like the stuff, they'll watch and they'll keep watching. And if they don't, it's not their thing. You know, I got to accept the fact that I'm not everybody's cup of tea. So, you know, it's never going to have hundreds of thousands of subscribers, but, you know, you never know. See what happens. What do we have here? Steve Spencer, get Colin Furze on. Did some filming with him a few years back. He's a total loon. Who's that? Colin Furze. Who's that, Stephen? Colin Furze. That name rings a bell. Furze. Furzy? Furze. 24 Charlie, how many clan members do you have, or shouldn't I ask? It's just gone back up to just over 500 at the moment. I did have at one stage over 6, and it dropped right down to the high 300s. And I had a slight coronary. Yeah, but it's sort of picked up again this month. Thank you so much. I did a couple of posts just to say, you know, people check your account to make sure you are still actually an active member. And as a lot of people had been kicked off and didn't know about it. So thank you very much to all those of you that came back. I really do appreciate that. JH, James May or Richard Hammond? Do you know, I did think about that, about getting the old Top Gear boys on. And maybe the new Top Gear lads. What do you think about that? It could be interesting. Don't know. We'll see. That's an idea. Top Gear, old and new. I mean, a little note of that. Okay. The trouble is, you know, with those folks, a lot of the time they've got agents that deal with all their social media. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes it goes direct to them, but a lot of the time you have to try and get by the agent. 24 Charlie, you need to reiterate that point more, Bruce, about thumbs up, etc. Yeah, I know. I don't want to labour the point in the vids all the time. You know, like, oh, subscribe. But it does. Same as the merch. You know, as soon as I mention merch, you get merch sales. But if you don't mention it, you don't really get them. Even just flashing up the merch thing, it doesn't really do anything. And it's amazing. It's amazing how much of an impact like the merch sales can have. You know, we've not really sold much at all this year, and I've noticed that massively in my income stream, because you know, I've got like 7 or 8 different ways of making money. You know, of earning through TeapotOne, and when they're all trickling money in, even although it's not a lot of money individually, when you put it all together in one pot, it can be the difference of paying your mortgage and not paying your mortgage. So yeah, I need to push the merch more. Pete Brownsmith, what about James Watt, CEO of Brewdog? Help your case of beer sponsor. But on a serious note, he's putting out some interesting content at the moment. Yeah, he is. I follow him. I did message him initially when I had loads of when it was all Brewdog that I had. My missus volunteers in a charity shop, and they get given loads of food from the supermarkets that, you know, crates that have been damaged that they then cannot be sold to the public. So they get given loads of food, but this charity shop they can't sell that food. So and when there's booze involved, they can't sell the booze because they're like a Christian charity shop. So they won't put the booze out. So I was getting like crate loads of this Brewdog. That's how the whole Brewdog thing started on the channel. But I've drunk all that now. So, but I did try Brewdog quite a lot to get them on and told them all about the channel, and I never had anything back ever. But I'll keep at it. Beans, glad you told us about the algorithm thing, mate. Oh, cheers, Beans. Thank you, mate. Yeah, I just don't. I'm very conscious. I don't want to be the bloke that's out, you know, please sir, can I have some more? I don't want to be. This was my choice, isn't it? It's my choice to do this full time, and you know, it's not down to you guys to support me. It's not down to you. I've got to make my own way. I'm a big boy, innit? But part of that is merch. It is having people watch the vids and share the vids and everything like that. But I think I've probably gone the other end of the spectrum, whereby I didn't want to ram it down people's throats. So I don't do it enough. So yeah, point taken. I should mention it more. So I appreciate it if you do it. Thank you. Stephen Spencer, who's Colin Furze? What rock have you been under? He's only got a piddling 11 million subscribers. I don't know who's Colin Furze. Genuinely, I don't know, Stephen. Who is it? Biker Espana, Henry Crew, Graham Field, Nick Sanders, Maria Costello, Alan Whelan. Yeah, good effort. Good effort with that. I know Graham. I could get Graham on, no problem, actually. Nick Sanders, mad as a box of fish, but he's got quite a lot to promote at the moment, so I think he'd be keen on coming on. Nice one, good call with that. I'll follow them up. Mark Keenan, I bagged me one of the Pete English buffs. Thank you so much to all of you out there that bought the old Pete English quote buffs. Managed to donate 300 quid to the Tiny Lives Trust, Tiny Lives charity. So thank you very much to all of you out there. Pete English, if the guest doesn't have to be bike related, I'm shouting for Amanda Holden. Any video with her, I'll watch. Yeah, me too, mate. Oh, wow. Yeah. Enough said. JH, yes, anyone with an interest in bikes. Stephen Spencer at Pete English, did Amanda Holden make a video? Sure, she probably has. 24 Charlie, does this live chat have any impact on YouTube income? there is some way of like, I've seen in live streams where people can, I can't remember what they call it, but they can like donate money online. I don't want you guys to do it because you already do it with Patreon, but that can happen on live streams. And then once this is no longer a live stream and it's just like a normal video that's up there, it works on the same AdSense sort of way as all the other vids. So providing enough people watch it, then it will make something off of AdSense. I mean, this podcast channel, although it is monetized now, it's pocket change what it makes like £3, £4 a month, this channel. But again, as things grow, you never, it could start making an income. Zoe's Place, that was the charity. Sorry, Pete. Yeah, Pete English Buffs went to Zoe's Place. Sorry, apologies, mate. What did I say? Tiny Lives. That's Gordon, Arctic Riders one. Jenny Tinmouth, 24 Charlie, Jenny Tinmouth. That is a cracking idea, Simo. Brilliant. I'd love to chat with Jenny. Jenny Tinmouth. Good call. Nice one. Hairy Bikers, Maria Costello, Michael Dunlop, Dean Harrison, Ian Hutchinson, Connor Cummings, Guy Martin. You're a racing fan, Neil. Yeah, definitely. All of the above. I'd love to have a chat with all of them. I'll put the word out, mate. I'll see what I can do. I don't want to just fill it full of like bike racers, because there's Chasing the Racing, like Chrissy and Dom have got Chasing the Racing podcast, and that's their thing. That's who they get on. So, I don't want to pee on their chips. And to the same extent, I don't want to just flood the podcast with a whole load of racing stuff. But if you want the people on, I'll do what I can to get them on. JH, really pleased with my t-shirt on the subject of March. Awesome, thank you very much. I'm chuffed. I'm glad that people like these shirts. Kind of Roger that deals with all the merch. I think he's at the Influencer Store. Is the company they've set up for this, and they sort of pride themselves on the quality of the actual garments themselves. So it's nice to get that feedback that you're happy with it as well. I used to use like Teespring and Spreadshirt, but you'd wash them 2 or 3 times and the t-shirts would fall apart. So I'm glad you like this stuff. Johnny Hackinson, Super Chat. Yeah, Super Chat is that sort of tip thing, isn't it, on the live chat thing? Yeah. Mark Keenan, has anyone seen Vanessa Ruck's stories on Instagram? I'm shouting for her. Yeah, I've had Vanessa on twice. She's been on here twice. Very active on Instagram. Steve Wright, Brewdog is opening a bar in New Zealand. Maybe they could send you out as an ambassador. I'll organise the tour. Steve, I would love to come out, man. I've got an uncle that lives in New Zealand, and I would love to go over and see him and my aunt and my cousins and stuff over there. I was supposed to do it on my world trip, but I ran it. By the time I was in Australia, I was on my arse. I didn't have enough money, so I had to cut that bit out of the trip, sadly. Peter Brownsmith, Colin Furze, inventor. It may ring a bell when he converted a mobility scooter into a 70-mile-per-hour flying machine. Check him out, Bruce. Even if you don't get him on his stuff, is a bit of a giggle. I'd never heard. Did I make a note of Colin Furze? I didn't. Right, Colin Furze. That sounds amazing. Colin Furze. And he's got 11 million subscribers. Bloody hell. Wow. Pete English, Ed China would be an interesting guest. Absolutely. Do you know, I was getting Johnny on from Late on the Breaks. He was supposed to come on, and it all went very cold. I don't know what happened, but it just sort of stopped the chat. I'll try and pick that up again. But Ed China's a good call. So I need a swig of beer, folks. My throat is drying up. It's medicinal. Oh. Mark Keenan, can you say hello to my boy, Daniel Keenan? Daniel, hello. How you doing, pal? Hope you're having a good one. Right, where are we now? That is nearly 2 hours, folks. Surely you lot must be bored of me by now. It's ridiculous. 2 hours. How about we start rounding this up? Yeah, the chat's gone quiet. Johnny Hackinson, what beer? Oh, what, the Budweiser? Yeah, I know. Yeah, I think we'll start rounding this up now, folks. That fair enough, I think. Thank you very much for all your questions and having a chat with you lot again tonight. Hope you've enjoyed it. I will post up on Patreon about the clan meetup. Looking forward to that. It's going to be great to meet up with everybody, and I can't wait to see you all. Have a beer, have a ride, then have a beer, and get the crack with you. All right, folks, so thank you so much for all your support here on Patreon. Folks, if you're watching this after the event, if it is your thing, appreciate it's not everybody's thing, but if it is and you want to help support the channel, head yourself to patreon.com/TeapotOne and join any of the tiers there that take your fancy. Folks, keep doing your thing, keep looking after those that you love. Get on out there, however you can, and do. I mucked that up. I can't believe I mucked it up. I say it in every single vid. Nice one, mate. Say people. Sorry, I'm just reading the last of these little messages. Yeah, really good to see you. Folks, look after yourselves. Look after those that you love. Get on out there, do your thing. But most importantly, live your life. Woo-ha! Can't believe I mucked that up. See you later, folks. Take it easy.